Welcome back. So we are going to do the cover today. So these are the measurements I already gave you in I think in tutorial 1 or somewhere, but for those who missed that, these are the measurements I'm going to use. So I'm going to use 2 pieces of 8 by 6 inches, and in centimeters that will be 20.2 by 15.2 centimeters. So 2 times front and back cover. And then for the spine I'm going to use a 4 by 6 inch, and that is in centimeters 10.2 by 15.2 centimeters. 1 time. Alright, so my chipboard is a nice thick one, 2 millimeters, and for those who have the kit, you have a 12 by 12 sheet, and if you cut out these, you will have the same sizes. So this is a bit how I would cut out your 12 by 12 page, and then you have this one, so you have an extra piece left for this one. So, but I'm not going to use it. Alright, so let's put this together. So I'm going to grab some black papers, and these black papers are going to be attached because this won't fit. Oh, I think I just leave this nicely onto each other. So what if I glue down 2 pieces? Let's see how far I get them. So I'm just going to use tape for this. You also can use glue, whatever you want. It's your party. Here we go. Here we go. Peel this off. Put this on. I'm just going to use the tape as my guideline. Here we go. Burnish it down. Now I really like to start with the spine on the spot that we just add on. And I'm just going to watch. Yeah, I can use this now. Yep, as you can see, I have all the way around. So, yep, two is more than enough. So I'm going to start with the spine. I don't want to have the overlapping part of the papers, that will come in the grooves of these papers. I don't want it. So just gonna place this somewhere in the middle. Does not have to be perfect. If it's not the attachment of these 2 papers, I will not have these nearby the end of the chipboard. Okay, let's attach these 2. Now the most important reason for making a cover is that you will have enough space in between these gussets. You definitely need enough space, guys. Otherwise your paper, your black paper, will crack. So what I normally do is how wide is this? I always measure because, yeah, for me it's a 5 millimeter, and in inches it's definitely a 3/16. So that's a bit how wide I want this to be. Because, and it's not true, the wider the better. No, it's not. If you put it too wide, then it's gonna get too loose. You don't want that either. You want to have a nice fur cover. So yeah, it really is a big deal how far you want it. Some people do also put another piece of chipboard in between, but then it's, yeah, for me it's still too narrow. So I just like it a 5 millimeter or a 3/16. I normally eyeball it because it does not have to be perfect, but yeah, if you do this quite a lot, then eyeballing is it's nice. Alright, so now I really like to burnish my glue onto the paper, the chipboard, so everything is nicely flat. Here we go. Okay, then we need to cut the corner, and there are tools for that. I do have some tools, but I must confess that I not use that much. But if you want, I can show you what kind of tool that is. Someone sent this to me, and this is the website where it's from. I have no idea how much this is, or but it's a metal one, and there are more cheaper ones, I know, but then you just put this right here and cut along. Why is this? And it's just because we need this distance, and that's all that this tool does. We need to keep this distance. Alright, but you don't need a tool for that. Normally I just cut this off, because you also can see that 2-3 millimeter away. That's the most important thing. You also can cut it just straight if you want, but this is important, guys. Stay away, 2-3 millimeters away. You also can use a ruler and then draw a line. It's just find a way that suits you. I just cut mine and then I'm good to go. 2-3 millimeters away. That's enough. All right, I have a poncho on, and that's not working for me, so I'm gonna take it off. I hate it. I want some freedom around my arms. I like ponchos when sitting on the couch, I think, but not while you are doing something with your arms. Alright, so next what I like to do is put some tape. It's not necessary, but I just like it because it will stay faster to your chipboard, all the edges that we want to wrap it around. But it's not necessary. If you don't have tape, then glue is just fine. It only takes a little bit more patience because you have to wait till your glue is dry, but it's perfect too. Alright, so then what I like to do is I just grab the middle and I use my belly, by the way, to keep this from. So I now do this with my fingers to make sure that I just fold this nicely without any bubbles. If I'm satisfied, I'm just gonna fold it around it so it already sets before I put any glue on, so I be sure that this is nice and tight. And if I am satisfied, and I am right now, I'm just gonna peel off. You also can use your bone folder. I'm gonna show you another way with the bone folder. Now I just use my fingers or hands. Here we go. That looks pretty smooth. Gonna sit down, just take your time for this. Alright, and then I also like to burnish it down with my bone folder the edges so we get a nice crispy edge, and the glue can set down really nice. Alright, now turn it. Now you also can use your bone folder to do this. Just squeeze this against your chipboard to get a nice wrapping around. Yes, alright, and if you're satisfied, do it again. I always like to put glue first to the edges. It's very important that you don't get any air bubbles. Alright, I always like to start in the middle. And then I'm just gonna pull this to me to get that nice wrapping around. Burnish it down. And then the top piece. Here we go. That was the easy part. Let's go to the corners. Alright. Now, first, what I like to do is, because now we have these little openings right here, and what I like to do is I'm just going to use my bone folder and I just go around the corner while I'm pushing it, and then it looks like this. See, there's a little glue on it, but as you can see, I'm just gonna flat it. Same thing on here, just go along and just go around the corner. See, it's nice and flat. Then I'm just gonna use my fingers, but you also can use your bone folder. Alright. So make sure that it's nice and flat. And then I'm just gonna do exactly the same as I did with there we go. Turning it back, peel off my tape, put some glue to the chipboard. There you go. I still start in the middle. Push it to the edge. Burnish it down. And then as last I just push my corners nice and flat. And then you get a nice crispy corner. As you can see, it's nice and flat. Everything is wrapped in, so that is pretty easy to do. So let's do that one more time. Alright, so we have this little gap right here that overlap. That's because we managed to 2-3 millimeters away from the corner. Alright, just wrap it around. Wrap it around. This one is not completely flat. There we go. Punch it down. Squeeze the corners. There you go. Nice crispy edges. Alright, then these gussets, I'm just gonna, but gentle, please be gentle, to push this inside those openings. And when everything is inside, you just can squeeze it in. Same thing on here. Lift this a little bit up and make sure it's inside. And if you see now, look, that is why we do need that opening, because now the papers are in. As you can see that, it's in the opening. Best way I can tell you this. Alright, so that's our cover. Yeah. I really like the size. It's nice and thick, but we have thick pages, so we need the space. And now that I made this size, I know that I have enough space to make something nice on the inside covers. So we can do something more. Alright, so I already find out where I want to have my pages, and I think with a 4-inch, so if you, and we have three pages, so what I start with, because we have 3 pages, we start in the middle. Alright, and then I have 2 inches left on the side, so I think I'm just gonna go for a 1 inch and then 1 inch in between, and then we also have a 1 inch right here. That means that I can have enough space to do something on the inside covers. That makes sense. Alright, yeah, but first I'm gonna put something on to make this a little bit nicer. Alright, so what I would like to do is I am gonna make this a fraction smaller, not too much, but just a little. I need to cut 2 pages, and that I'm gonna put inside. Okay, so for this one, just gonna start right here in the middle. See if this is not too close to the edge, and this is fine. I also can cut it a little smaller, I guess, because we do have another one. So I can cut it down just a little bit. So this is a little bit in the middle or something. Let's do that. Okay, so let's do that, and before I do that, I also like to put some tape just along these openings. Trust me, this will be very helpful when you are going to add your inner paper and you want no bubbling right along these openings. You want to have a nice crispy inner. So that's what I like to do. Alright, I'm going to peel off one side for now. You can use tape or you can use glue, whatever you like to use. But you don't want any air bubbles, so just put enough glue on. There we go. Put this on. Yep. Sit down. Yes, and now I just go to the other side. This can overlap a little bit, does not need to precisely put against it. It can be. It's just what you want. But I think a little bit overlapping is just fine. There you go. As close as you can get to the edges. There you go. There you go. Burnish it down. Okay, now the best thing to do now is to leave this and let this dry. But you know I don't have patience. That's why I put that tape on the inner side through that openings. Because now I'm just gonna burnish this down a little bit extra. Now this tape is nicely attached to that black paper. So now I'm just gonna grab my bone folder. I'm gonna find where that opening is, and I'm gently, and in the meantime I'm just gonna bend my front cover up while I am burnish this down. So I'm pushing the paper inside that groove. This is exactly, don't tear it down, just be gentle. So this is nicely inside. Do the same thing on the other side. Make sure that the tape or glue is nice attached. Because if you don't, then you don't get a nice crispy end. Just be gentle, and in the meantime, you're just gonna push this up till your paper is inside. And look at that. That looks amazing. And again, all the papers are now inside the groove. So that is why we need that opening. Otherwise it cracks, and then it's a waste of time. So 5mm, 3/16 opening, best tip I can give you today. Alright, the cover is done. Next step. Alright guys, now the first thing that I like to do together with you is the hinge. So we're gonna put this away for just a moment. We're gonna grab back a page, well, and from here we're gonna measure how wide it is. Well, I also can just grab my 7 by 5 3/4. This was a 7 and a 5 3/4. That was it. A 5 3/4. Alright, so my pages are a 5 3/4. So I need to cut down that as well. So I'm just gonna grab my, I need to go back because I want to show you this area. Alright, so a 5 3/4 it is. That's where I'm gonna start with. cutting that off. Alright, so while I am explaining everything, I am gonna do this, so I'm not planned this or put something down on papers already. This is the best way I can tell you everything too, because if I already do this in front and put something on a note, then I am terrible in explaining things and I mess up. So this is my way of explaining. Just follow along. That's the best way that I can do that, because my brain is working that way. So don't worry, we'll get there. And afterwards I will put some measurements on it. But for now, we are just going to do this. Follow along. Alright, so I can put this along. That is my working plate that I decided in tutorial 1 how wide my chipboard is going to be. So this is a little bit how I can explain it. So we kept that 1/2 inch right here. So this is the spine right here on this side. And this is my page. That's 7 by 5/3/4. That's the inner. So that 1/2 inch we need for making an extra hinge so the papers are more flat while it is in your album. So that is what we also need to go right here. So don't forget that. And I want I want to have a that's going to be in the page. So this is my tunnel right here, my page. And we need a hinge, and I always like to have a larger hinge than a 1/2 inch. I want to make it a 1 inch, so it's nice, long, good attached, and everything that we're going to put inside is still large enough. So I like that. So we're going to make a 1 inch hinge, and then we have that 1/2 inch, and then we have something to put on the spine. Now, alright, I hope you understand what I mean. But just follow along. So the first thing that we need is that 1 inch. Okay? That 1 inch we need. That's where the tunnel is going to be attached. Gatje, dat is niet van jou, hè? Dat kan je niet opeten. Ga maar een bordje zoeken. Alright, sorry. Alright, so we have that 1 inch. That's the hinge that's going to be in the tunnel. Then we need that 1/2 inch that I just explained to put my pages more flat. Sorry. Now, in between the first page and the last page is 2 inch. I know that because I explained earlier that we have the second page is in the middle, and then at 1 inch is the first page, and then a 1 inch is the last page. So 1, 2, 3 pages. So in between we have that 2 inch space. Alright? So the next move, the next fold line is going to be 2 inch wider. Now this is a 1.5, so at 3.5 that would be a 2 inch wider. Alright, so here starts the same thing as we did here. So we do first that 1/2 inch, and I'm gonna end up with that 1 inch, but the 1 inch I do need to cut down. So I'm just gonna flip this around. I'm gonna put this at 1 inch. So this is what I need. Let me explain. The 1 inch that comes in the tunnel, the 1/2 inch to keep your page more flat, and then this is going to be on the spine, and here we have that other page, that 1/2 inch to make it flat, and that 1 inch that keeps in the tunnel. So if I score all this, then this will lift up, and then we have a hinge for our third page, and a hinge for our first page. And the next page is going to be in between here. Alright, so we're going to do that right away. So we score 1 inch for the tunnel and a 1/2 inch for laying it flat. And now I need to attach this, and I only have 1 inch left. But if I cut this at 1 inch, then it's gonna be too wide. So I am gonna cut this not at 1 inch, but a 1/8 smaller. Let's say a 7/8. Then it will be fit perfect. I'm also gonna like to mark this piece, and I also can see it that it's smaller, but you know me. So I'm gonna mark my 7/8. This is gonna be attached on here, either this way or this way. That's no, but it's gonna be attached right here. So this is gonna move up, but I'm gonna show you in just a second. I'm gonna make a little list for those who wants to see numbers. Alright. Alright, for those who want numbers. Alright, so you need to cut your papers 5 3/4 inch. That's the size of your pages that we already made. Then we need to score 1 inch, 1.5 inch, 3.5 inch, and 4 inch. And then we need to cut down 1 inch off. That leaves us with this. Alright, so score 1 inch, 1.5, 3.5 inch, 4 inch, and we need to cut down that 1 inch off. Alright, and then for the next one, the middle binding hinge, we need to score 1, then 1.5, and we then need to cut down a 7/8 inch off. That leaves us with this. So we score 1 inch, 1/2 inch, 1.5 inch, and we need to cut down that 7/8 inch. Alright, that's the binding that we need. Now we are going to fold everything, and this needs to be, just pay attention that it's going to be straight. So I just watched left to the right if it's straight, because if your binding is not straight, then it's no use to put your papers inside, because then your pages are not gonna be straight. So this is very crucial that you do this correctly. Alright, so this is my first binding for page 1 and 3. Here is my next one. Okay, this is my next one. This is the 7/8. This is the 1 inch, as you can see that. Alright, and this one is going to be attached right here in the middle. Yes, alright. Now to guide this a little bit, I just like to make a mark where the middle is. That's right here, and to keep it straight, I like to have another mark right there. Alright, let's do this. I'm gonna get as close as I can get to the fold line. Not over it, of course, but as close as I can get. This needs to attach well. And I'm also going to use some glue so I can wiggle a little. Not too much, but this needs to attach well, so I just take my time for this. Here we go. I can take this completely flat if I want, so I can see where I'm going to attach this. I'm just going to cover up so I barely don't see my pencil mark. Then I know I am straight. And as you can see now, it fits nicely in between. We even have a little left, as you can see, but that's better than if you are already attached this one. We don't want that. Alright, so this is our hinge. Yeah. Just gonna burnish it down really well. So the tape and the glue is coming together on here. So yeah, that's cool. Okay, cool. Now I'm just gonna add tape at the back with this one also, as close as I can get till the fold line. That's the first goal. And then I'm just gonna put everything inside. Here we go. Yep. Then we are going to do the 1 inch. So on both sides. For this one, I'm not going to put my tape too close. I am staying away a 1/8 something. Yeah, I think a 1/8. I want to stay away from the fold line. The reason this is because I don't want to add my pages too close to the fold line, otherwise it is too much pressure for the hinge. So I'm just gonna, and while I am using paper, I still need to be aware that paper can tear. So, and I know some of you are using Tyvek. Great option to use because Tyvek don't tear. So if you're going to use, if you have Tyvek, there are also envelope Tyvek envelopes. Sometimes I also use it, but I need to use it a bit more often. The only problem with Tyvek is I only can get it in white, and I know there are in black to be found, but in my country I just cannot find it. I wish I did. I think if I had it, then I think I would use it all the time for the binding system. Maybe in the future I can get my hands on it. Alright, so that is done. Burnish it down. And then I'm just gonna cut down a few little diagonal pieces. And I'm only gonna cut that in that 1 inch. Not in the 1/2 inch, girls. Not in the 1/2 inch. Only in the 1 inch. So I'm just going to place my scissor till this fold line, and then I'm just going to cut down a little triangle. Just a little, it's more than enough. Why is this? That's because that moves our tunnels a little bit better on these hinges. better than we keep it in one spot. Alright, so next I like to decorate this a little bit. Yes, I do like that. To put something inside. So I am going to decorate the 1/2 inch and also the 1 inch in between. So yes, that's the first thing that I like to do, and it's easier when this is not in the album just yet. So just find something. Maybe you have some leftover pieces, like perhaps this. Oh, this is actually fitting nice. So yeah, just grab something. If you have something, find something. I really like this, by the way. And then maybe another one for the inside. Blue one, something. Anyways, just find something, and otherwise just cut your papers, because we have enough. We do have enough. Maybe I'm just going to use... Oh, I also have this left. This is my last piece left. Oh, I really like this one too. So maybe I'm going to use these. Oh, it's also possible. Just all the same. That would be also nice. I think I'm going to start with these in the middle. And then I'm going to see what I like on the edges right here. So the easiest part to do this is just cut this. And then cut all what you need and put it on. And the best tip that I can give you is make it not too wide. So you can say this is a 1 inch, but yeah, definitely make it smaller. The fold line needs the space, guys. It needs the space. So for the 1/2 inches, I really can recommend that you do a, what's that? If you have a 1/2 inch, a 3/8. A 3/8 is more than enough to cover up these little gaps, these little hinges. Don't forget to smooch these. That's the best. Looks so much better if you do that. There we go. Put this on. Stay away from the fold lines. Stay away from the edges. Check, 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 check. Yep. Just take your time. Crafting is not a hobby that you can do quick. Nope, just take your time. Just take your time. Alright, I'm gonna do one for, I don't know if I like the same ones. I think I do. I think I do. Use this one. So what's a 3/4? These are centimeters. And what's this one? These are all centimeters. Also inches. Oh, then here also all inches. Yeah, I'm struggling. Okay, what's a 1/2 inch? I think this is... Good heaven. What's a 3/4? What's a 3/4? 3/8 even. 1, 2, 3. Yep. 3 stripes it is. It's so hard to see. Oh my goodness. It is hard to see. Hate it. Oh, this is way much better. Alright, so a 3 inch, 3/8. Here we go. Smooch the edges. And just glue it on. Stay away from the fold lines. Check it out. Yeah, and so on and so on. I really like how this looks. That looks stunning, if I may say so. If I may say so. See, it's pretty easy, but worth the time. Yes, it is. Alright, and then it will look like this, and you just can do every little piece. So yeah, I do have a little more to do. Alright, see you. Alright, now this is ready. Look how fancy this looks. Like it. Now we are going to put this in the album. And what I like is just make a little mark where you want it, so it's nice and straight. Alright. I think I am just gonna follow the line, this one, and I'm just gonna watch front, top and bottom. So if I put this on, means that I am also am nice with this one. See, I'm just gonna stay in between. Alright, so that's where I'm going to attach it. So I'm going to peel off all my tape, but I'm also going to use some extra glue. There we go. Go. Yes, okay. Alright, so I'm just gonna do exactly what I just did. Watch. Top and bottom. I'm just barely gonna cover that mark, and I'm just gonna go down, and then this one is also nice between all edges. So yes. Now take your time to burnish this down. This needs to settle down. Your pages are heavy, so you want to spend your time doing this. Clean off what's to be cleaned. If there is anything that needs to be cleaned, just do that now. There we go. Yes, okay, that's done. Now if you don't trust your tape and your glue, you always can add a board in the bottom and top if you want. Now I'm gonna do that, and it's not that I don't trust my glue and tape, but it's also looking very nice. So I just love it. So yeah, just pinch a hole. Grab a blot. Put it in. Good heaven. It's not only that I have long nails, but sometimes the legs are not. But here it is. So I'm just gonna pinch my finger underneath, so it'll not go anywhere. And then I'm just gonna flat this with something. There we go. So that is how I'm gonna do all 4 of these, and that makes sure it will hold for a long time. Okay, and then everything is inside, and I really like how this turns out. It's only not even functional, but even looks very cool. And then this is the back. So now it's time to do the outside cover. Yeah. So what we're gonna do, let's check it out.